was also Fidel Castro's birthday. Because all of those are equally important. So, yeah, I was an idiot when I first met Cass and really played the long game on all of that. But I kind of owe knowing Cass from my parents as well. They were using her to work their flag run, and she forgot some pom-poms in Blue Ridge, I believe, and they gave them to me, and they told me to go take them to Cass. And I literally had no idea who she was. You know, I'm a drummer, so we just drum like all the time. So I really didn't do much about that. And so I remember walking up at Stagnant, and they were having a Monday rehearsal. I'm an idiot, so I'm shaking the palm. I'm looking for Cassie Moates, just waiting to see him come on my back. And you don't really know. I'm not doing better than Laura, so it's a bummer. You don't really know, like, when you're in that moment, how everything changes. And I really didn't realize that for a longer period of time, just because, you know, as everybody has continued to remind me, I really just, we were friends, we laughed, and I like to make people laugh, so, you know, we just kind of became friends, and, you know, I remember Ted and Darren sitting at Circle J Steakhouse in Blue Ridge, and telling me I was an idiot. And they really were right about that. You know, it just took a long time, and I think, was afraid of starting to date and then losing her as a breed. But that was stupid. Because, you know, we had a great marriage. And we got to travel a lot too. Some of my favorite stories, we went to London and we were going to do a British Isles cruise. and Cass, she liked to go to bed early. Sleep was very important to her. And so we had to leave. And I'm a maniac, so we're going to go to London for 2 days, and then we get on the cruise ship, and I'm trying to get everything done. And that's not exactly Cassie's style. She is certainly more of a sit on the beach, you know, kind of person. Tiffany, you know, that was Gil's thing. And I'm more like my crazy family, who's always on the go. So we go to London, and we're having to leave. It's late Friday night. You're not sleeping on the plane, you arrive on Saturday, and I have all this stuff scheduled, and we're exhausted, we really are, but we're sitting in St. Paul's Cathedral in London, just a beautiful, beautiful place, and we're doing a tour on tape thing, and we're sitting right under the beautiful top thing, and I look over, and she is asleep, and it was just so funny, because, you know, you rush to get there, you want to do all this stuff, and she's just so tired, and we're tired, and we're getting coffee, trying to make it through it. I did too many things for that trip, but, you know, it was hilarious, and we'll be there forever, you know, and those are the things that you remember. Cassie was very gentle, a gentlewoman, a gentle soul, but we're having to get onto the cruise ship super early, and we're in London. The cruise ship is obviously not in London, it's way on the east coast of England, and we're going to get on a train. And I didn't plan this out, but we had to get from the tube station to the train station, and London's a big city, and it's super crowded, and we're just watching the tube come by, and it's packed. We have these giant luggage, you know, with us, and I finally look at Cass, I'm like, you're just going to have to bully your way in. You're going to have to shove people out of the way and get on the train, and I'll just meet you there. Next train comes up, and she looked like Jordan Davis. I mean, she was just jamming through people, and it was just so funny. And, I saw some of the pictures when we went to Hawaii, which was her favorite trip we've ever taken. Beach. I'm not a beach person. And, so we go out to Hawaii, and we end up going to Maui, and we wake up super duper early. And one of the pictures up there, which thanks for starting with that, we go to the top of Haleakala and watch the sunrise, and just had a great time. And then we biked down on these weird bicycles. They were recumbent bikes for whatever reason. So it was like a very strange ride down. And then the jumping picture that was up there was from that trip. And, I'm so thankful. I was thankful in the moment, but certainly thankful now that we got to experience all those things together. And my trips were definitely more, I think, on the go than she would prefer. I mean, we took a cruise through the Caribbean. That was great for her. She was a lot more laid back on those kind of things. I wanted to go to museums, and I wanted to go to zoos, and because I'm a nerd, so I enjoyed all that. But she tagged along with me, and I was so happy to have her there with me. And I hope she was happy that I was there too for most of that. This has not been easy. It's obvious. Rebecca, I get articles about grief and dealing with it, and it's, they're helpful, but it's not super easy. But Rebecca sent one to me that really stuck with me, and I try to do this because I think, generally speaking, I don't know if it's because of me or being a man or whatnot, I just kind of want to avoid sadness a lot. You don't want to really experience it, and you don't really want to go through it. You dread it, and this article basically, and I believe somebody else said something about this, is you just have to do it. I mean, you have to experience it, and there's an analogy about a buffalo, or about buffaloes, that when they're out and they see a storm coming, they don't try to avoid it, they don't go around it, they don't go backwards, they don't do anything like that, they just head straight through it. And I try to do that. I try to do that a lot, and it's also not easy, but something that I feel like is important, just to experience it and go through it, and you always kind of feel better on the other side of it. Like today's not easy, and lots of days won't be easy, but there's some semblance on the other side of it, of feeling a little bit better. Stages of grief, I go through them every day, every 30 minutes. I mean, that's just part of the process, and she was just, I'm a nice guy. Shut up. Don't ask Cypher. Don't ask me on my mother. No, I'm a nice guy, but she was super nice. Just a lot nicer than me. And just a gentle person. And gentle with the kids. Even Hattie, I'm less gentle with. And I super apologize for her and for the world. Ava's super sweet. She's Cassie. And unfortunately for all of us, Hattie is me. And Hattie's very sweet, but she's stubborn. And I imagine that most of you in the room heard from Cassie that I'm super stubborn, and so that's definitely my fault as well. I'm super sad for what I've lost. I've lost my best friend. But super sad, girls. Super sad. I love my mom. She nags me all the time. She moves all my stuff. She got rid of my Ghostbusters car. And I'll never forgive her for those things. I love my mom, and I can't imagine a life without my mom. It's really tough to think, they're not going to imagine having a mom there. And that's difficult. That's really the worst part. And that's hard to accept. More than anything else. Really, truthfully, that's the hardest part for me, and that's the unfair part. They're sweet girls. They're great girls. Again, even Hattie, and they have been amazing through this. Some funny stories. I mean, Laura was joking, but I'm not a super patient guy, wasn't, and that they would be missing that. And you have to be more patient, that is Cassie. Cassie changed me in lots of different ways. I was a bowl person for my ice cream. And then she just stopped giving me a bowl. So I became a cup or mug person for ice cream. She didn't like the way I wrote my twos. Because I looped it and I had no idea. She didn't like that. So now I write my twos the proper way. And, that's there forever. Even small, that's super small, she really did change everything about my life. And so, in the hope of having some joy from, I'm not great, and I'm not in a state where I really can look back and be appreciative and joyful of those moments. I'm sad that they're no longer here. And I look at the future. I'm getting a potential spam phone call. Our warranty. And then when you look at the future, you definitely realize all the things that she's going to not be for. Ava going to kindergarten would have been a huge, momentous occasion for Cass. I mean, teaching being one of her primary passions. I mean, that would have been huge. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes down to it. I mean, there's graduations and weddings and grandchildren. Those are difficult to rationalize and go through. But there will be growth, and hopefully I'll have those moments, because we had a lot of wonderful moments. We really did. And we didn't really fight all that much. At least I don't think so. She wasn't much of a fighter. That wasn't really her thing. She was just the better part of us. And that's not being like a martyr. That's just truth, and I'm willing to accept that. She was just the kindest person. So kind that it drove me nuts, because somebody mentioned it. I felt like she didn't need to be nice to certain people. And she still was. And that's not in my skill set. And it definitely was for her, and she made the right decision to be like that. Something that I would like to be better at. So, I'm so thankful of everybody. Bethlehem and Ivy Creek, she loved y'all. And so many memories from both, so many friends from both. And I appreciate all the paint and all the snacks and everything that you provided to the girls and me. Sometimes I eat them. I take those from them. So I appreciate that. Amanda Foley will talk in a minute. And flag line was so important to her. Well, there's some flag line here. Over there. But the flag line was so important to her. And it was something she was super proud about. The Winter Guard and the flag line, she was so passionate about it. She cared so much, just like everything else in her life. She just cared so much, and she just wanted it to be so good. And I think, like probably a lot of us, she had some imposter syndrome for that, and couldn't be further from the truth. She was an integral part there, and she should be proud that she was proud to be a part of it. So, and then there's the 214 and roommate crew. You know, y'all could have told her, and I appreciate you didn't tell her that she could do better than me. I appreciate that. You know, went to many football games with Rebecca and the 214 crew. Did many of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory dances in their living room, which they're not great dances. We had a good time there, and I want to kind of do a special call out for Rebecca. The strength of Rebecca is insane, like legitimately insane, and I can't imagine how she does it. I mean, I've already told you, I really don't want to be sad. I really don't want to go through that, which is not proper. That's not the right way to handle it. You just have to handle it. And she's done a good job of bullying me into really approaching those feelings, and I sincerely appreciate it. All the pictures, and you meant the world to her too. So I appreciate that. Sacred Seven Blue Girls. I don't have friends like that from my childhood. I have a few, but it's insane to me that y'all have maintained friendship and everybody loves each other. I mean, just to the core all the time. And same thing with Blue Girls. You know, gosh, most of y'all knew Cass, or all of you almost, I'd say, knew Cass well before I did. And she just loved y'all so much. I mean, all the time. She was so excited to go to Catholic camp. She was so excited about monthly dinners, and she just really enjoyed all you ladies. And you know, to the swell guys that are here, you know, we're so swell. And there's a long story about that, but I appreciate that too. And the Woo Boys, I don't know if that would be able to call each other. I'm game if you're game. Yeah. We'll start working on that. I think the McGee family, from day one, they have been accepting of a guy who's very much unlike most of them. And I love you so much. And, you know, you hear horror stories of in-laws, and we have just had an amazing relationship since day one. And I appreciate it so much, all of you. I want to thank my sisters, even though I'm the favorite and they're jealous of that fact. I appreciate everything they've done for me and Cass and the girls, and honoring her, coming to my house, taking care of my kids, and like mother, Amy takes all my stuff and moves it all over the place, and just stares at you until you make a decision. So I appreciate that wherever she moved. Ah, there you go. Okay. And thank you, parents. Always had a close family. always had a close family, our family. And trips together, football games, all of these things. But they've sacrificed a lot the last 10 months to take care of me and the girls. Even though I have to retrain my girls when they leave. Impossible to think how I could do it without all of you, really. It would be very tough. So I appreciate that. And this is random. This wasn't. I just took notes here, so I apologize. I'm just off the cuff. I do want to tell one funny, not really funny story maybe, but we had Ava, and boy howdy were we anxious parents. Just on edge all the time, just constantly. She went to daycare really early. She was sick, a lot at the beginning, and just super anxious. And then have Hattie. This is where the funny story takes place. We have Hattie, and definitely going to be kind of less anxious about this one. But we're getting close to go time with Hattie, and this was like 3 in the morning. And this will be, you'll all think wonderfully of me after this. Cassie's water broke at 3 in the morning, and I asked her. She said it wasn't a lot, and I asked her if she had peed on herself. And she said, I really don't know. And so then we had Ava, who was panicking, we really didn't know what to do. So she drove to the hospital in labor by herself, which she mentioned to me a lot after that moment. So, that with Sadie, I was like ready at all times because I didn't want to make that mistake again. But even in those cases where that's a bummer that I she had a level of grace and humor about it all. I mean, I think all of us here know, just how silly and funny she was. I mean, I don't know really if everybody would know that because she was quiet. She was so funny and so silly, and we loved to laugh, and I loved making her laugh. I loved going to all the weddings and doing, a little bit louder now, whatever it is, on the ground, doing all kind of crazy stuff, and we would just laugh and laugh and laugh. And she was just an incredible human, truthfully, like, to the core. Just an amazing human being. And, it's such a huge loss for all of us. So, lastly, I want to thank my girls. They have they really don't understand, I don't think, truthfully, what has transpired. But there is absolutely no way that I would have been able to make it this far without them. And because every day they give me the reason to get up, the reason, to push forward. They make me laugh. Hattie makes me laugh constantly. Ava makes me laugh constantly. And they'll just never really fully understand what they have meant to me through this, of all things. I mean, it would have been impossible. Truthfully, would have been impossible. So, I want to say happy birthday, Cass.